In order to address the very special public safety needs of organizations during the COVID-19 pandemic, a couple of special modules have been developed that allow organizations to pre-screen visitors and even to manage employee workspace occupancy before anyone actually arrives on site. Let's begin with the COVID-19 screening form. There are two ways to invite prospective visitors to fill out the COVID-19 screening form. The first method functions in a similar way to the invitation you send to invite visitors to check in online, with the difference being that the invitation recipient receives a link to the online COVID-19 screening form instead of the online check-in form. The second way of sending out the invitation to fill out the online COVID-19 screening form will probably be the more popular one, however, because it enables the employee to mail the link directly to their visitor through Outlook without going through reception. If Alicia chooses to ask the reception to handle the entire process for her, she would simply ask reception to send out a pre-screening invitation, referred to as a declaration in the Matwins system, before sending an actual invitation to check in online. The receptionist would begin by clicking on the invite button and then would fill in the fields exactly like is done for the online check-in invitation. Once the list is complete, you click on Send, and the recipients now display in the Declarations panel until they complete the form through the link they have received in their email. Once they click on the link in their email invitation, they are directed to the COVID-19 form with their personal information already filled in, so they simply have to answer the questions and sign off and submit. Their completed forms then appear as PDF icons in the Declarations panel, with either a green check mark or a red cross in the upper right corner. The green check mark indicates that they are eligible to be invited to the debriefing, while the red cross indicates that they are not. Whenever an invitee has answered yes to one of the COVID-19 questions, an email is sent to the person sending the invitation, in this case the reception, indicating that the person has answered yes to one of the questions concerning COVID-19. However, if Alicia chooses to handle the invitation herself, which in many ways is a far more efficient way to do it, she would simply integrate the link to the COVID-19 screening form in her debriefing invitation using the Matwins add-in in Outlook. So let's say I'm Alicia and I'm ready to send out my debriefing invitation. I go into my Outlook calendar, I select the date of the debriefing, and begin to create my invitation. Once I arrive at the description box in my Outlook entry, I add instructions for my participants, and then I search for the Matwins app using the three-dot icon at the top right of the navigation menu. I select the Matwins add-in, and ta-da, you have links to two forms, one in French and one in English, that the participants can fill in according to the language of their choice. All that's left is to press Send. Once my participants receive my invitation, they read the instructions, click on the link, and then they fill out the form. Now you'll notice in this case, the personal information fields are not already filled out like they are with the other method. Once the participant has filled in their personal information, then they go through and they answer the questions just like they do on the iPad or using the online check-in form. They click, they sign off, they submit. Once the participant has submitted the form, it appears in the Declarations panel of the POS admin portal, ensuring that reception personnel are aware that the participant has followed proper protocol. If there is a green check mark at the top right of the PDF icon, then we know the participant is eligible to be invited to the debriefing. However, if there's a red X at the top right of the PDF icon, then we know that the participant is not eligible to be invited to the debriefing because they have responded yes to one of the questions. Also, in the case of a yes answer, Alicia, as the debriefing organizer, receives an email notification advising her that the participant has answered yes to one of the questions.